Hello, my name is Andrew Stone, and this is my proposal for the mitigation of the barriers between the human and natural environments. For the extents of this proposal, I've focused primarily on the area of Corktown, just outside of downtown Detroit. As it currently stands, the area of Corktown that I've been focused on is bounded by Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard to the north, I-75 to the south, Trumbull and Motor City Casino to the east, and I-96 to the west. The area remains predominantly void of development and success that has been experienced um, by the nearby downtown and midtown areas. However, small pop up farms have begun to reclaim parts of the area, and on the eastern side, a few of the decaying single family homes have undergone renovation. Corktown was formerly one of the primary residential areas for residents of Detroit, given its proximity to downtown. However, as the years have progressed, Corktown and Detroit as a whole have experienced a strong decline in population since the 1960s, and as such, there are numerous vacant buildings in various states of disrepair. The vacancy and blight of the area have led to a vast amount of underutilized space, abandoned houses, and decaying infrastructure. Because of this abandonment, much of the area has become overgrown as nature reclaims the land people once called home. Many of these issues stem from both physical and perceived barriers in the area. To begin, we'll focus on the figurehead of vacancy and abandonment in Detroit, Michigan Central Station. Acting as a giant signpost for decay, the building sits void of nearly all life. To explore the mitigation of the divide between man and nature, parts of the interior of the building can be opened up to allow for nature, including migratory and terrestrial birds, to reside within. In addition, placed throughout the building, human developments, including multifamily housing, can help to mitigate the divide between man and nature, as previously mentioned. This close proximity to nature will allow city dwellers within Detroit to experience nature firsthand right outside their door. The interior spaces relegated to nature promote natural plant growth and shelter for numerous animals. And solar panels have been added to the southern facade of the building to allow it to produce electricity to help increase its sustainability. Using this typology of close interrelationship between man and nature, we move into the neighborhoods of Corktown and North Corktown. Currently, much of the city infrastructure, including roads and sidewalks, remains unused and decaying. Because of this decay, a great deal of residential vacancy has transpired, allowing for the partial resurgence in natural plant and animal development within the area. To further promote this natural growth, the strategic removal of underutilized infrastructure will allow for further mitigation of the divide, as well as the creation of more habitat space for naturally occurring plant and animal species. To facilitate this infrastructural flip, I've looked at the predominant layout of single family houses in the area, which tend to open onto a public street with a sidewalk, and then a private drive in the rear to allow for access to garages. Um, and then using that existing infrastructure and framework, while also envisioning a future where mass transit in the area is more prolific and the dependence on automobiles has diminished, we can begin to remove many of the roadways um, and thereby keep only a few streets running in the east-west direction for mass transit, similar to the mass transit system that's in place in Toronto, Ontario. This allows for additional green space to be used for farming and natural habitat development. The farming initiatives in the area can also help to mitigate any food sourcing issues experienced by the residents of the area. And the removal of underutilized infrastructure can effectively create a small scale green network of nature based linkages around the city. In addition, looking at a smaller scale at the individual block, you have reinforced street walls and a better overall urban experience for residents. Finally, looking at a more regional scale, we can look at the interstate freeway system, specifically looking at the way that I-75 has created a physical rift between Corktown and North Corktown. To help mitigate this divide, the covering of the freeway with a land bridge can help to mitigate the physical and perceived divides between the two areas. In addition, the infrastructure of the bridge can allow for further development of natural habitat space within the area. Uh, Also, continuing with the concept of productive elements, the land bridges can incorporate windmills, thereby producing electricity to help supplement non-sustainable energy sources present in the area. And finally, looking at Detroit from a regional perspective, the numerous underground freeways could effectively create a large-scale green network of nature-based linkages that connect disparate pockets of population density, including the areas of Dearborn, Southfield, Royal Oak, Ferndale, Troy, and Grosse Pointe. Thanks for listening.